What is going on, y'all? Welcome in to another episode of Tori Tells, the podcast. Welcome back to the regular scene. But before we even get into that, we can't overpass Drake. Come on now. My top three. Iceman, Maid of Honor, Habidi. Let's get into today's conversation. Because today is going to be a power punch episode. Something quick. A reminder that's been keeping me grounded lately. Keeping me more focused and aligned with becoming the best version of myself. And I hope that it will help the person listening. Because today is going to be about overthinking. And from a person who's undiagnosed ADHD, a person who always has so much going on, overthinking is one of my Achilles heels. So I wanted to use today's conversation to validate to the listener that overthinking is not a burden. It's just thought that doesn't have direction. And by the end of today's episode, you're going to know what that means. And you're going to walk away with 3 ways that you could change the direction from overthinking, being a burden, to becoming your newfound superpower. As I said, I'm undiagnosed ADHD. So all I do is overthink. But I notice a motif in my overthinking. It's like I'm always thinking about the negative thing that could happen. And let me give you guys a couple of examples. I'm consistently overthinking about having balance in my life. The fact that I am doing a podcast. I also personal train. I have a regular 9-to-5. And I do a couple of different side quests, along with trying to figure out that financial fortitude. And I'm always asking myself, like, am I giving enough time to this? Am I doing the right things? And I find myself looping and overthinking. Spiral is there. Because I've never been in a place where I've been responsible for so many things before. Or I've never been in a place where I had to think about managing my time better and having a better balance thing. Why don't we ever think about what could go right? Why is that never our initial thought? Who overthinks is also an observant person. A person who pays attention, who's aware, and who's very conscious of the things that's going on around them. And so that's what they're often overthinking about. Anybody watch Malcolm in the Middle before? Oh, I started to be a little bit more patient with myself. Me overthinking is me protecting myself from what could go wrong. Overthinking, especially when we're starting something new, is something that plagues us for a very long time. Thinking if people are going to think that we're trying to be like someone else, or we're wondering if it's going to be any good, or we're wondering if we're going to fail, or we're wondering if people are going to think that we're a fraud, or we start to develop the imposter syndrome. That's where we get overthinking wrong. You see, because we're overthinking, that just means we're aware. But now, that overthinking needs some sort of direction. And then we're never giving ourselves permission to just be in the present moment. And understand that we only have the present. The past is gone and the future is coming. And that's why we need direction. So that we can use overthinking to help us organize ourselves and help us direct our thought to positive outcomes. To reclaim a sense of power in our minds. Am I right? And just because you do that, I want to remind you that being aware is a good thing. And the more cognizant you are of how awareness can become anxiety if it's shifted in the wrong direction, is how you can be more equipped to shut anxiety at the door when it comes in the form of overthinking. So before we leave out today, I wanted to give you guys 3 tips that's been helping me lately with overthinking. First step I've been using is to label it, right? Straight up. You're ruminating again. Are you looping? I also ask myself that question. I say, is this thought trying to scare me? Or is it trying to help me? And if it's trying to scare me, I tell myself that's fear. Trying to get into the walls that I'm trying to build around my mind. And if I find that it's helping me, then I let it in. The last thing I do is turn it into action. A journal or a voice note real quick. And I write it out and I write it down. And I find ways to respond to it. By reminding myself that I'm safe. That the thoughts that you're overthinking about is something you have no control over. Is some of the most freeing advice to combat overthinking. There's no sense in trying to silence it. When I use these 3 action steps, that I'm now turning overthinking into my superpower in real time. And so I hope that the person listening will attempt to use them in their own day-to-day. I want to remind you, with this moment of validation, there's nothing wrong with you. You don't need anything to help you shut off your mind or even try to escape it. You just need to find ways to navigate it. And so I want to remind you, you're a genius. So never think that overthinking is a burden. But it does need direction. So I truly hope you utilize these tools in today's episode. And I hope that quick power punch helps you whenever you need it. I appreciate you guys sitting in with me. And I can't wait to get into our next topic. It's your girl, Tori. Until